Welcome to Open Door with Dr. Brett, and I'm Dr. Brett, and normally I'm doing a sports psychology podcast, but occasionally, some of the time, I'm just hanging and interviewing back and forth with my wife, right? We're having a discussion. We haven't done this in a while, babes, but we used to do it out in the desert. Now we've moved to Florida.
Yes.
What's this like for you?
You forgot to introduce me.
Oh, shoot, I forgot to introduce my wife.
Yes.
My wife, Chanakarn.
Yes. Hi, everyone. I'm Chanakarn.
Awesome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
On camera.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Or did you ask me again?
What's this like for you, this whole big transition to Florida? How are you liking it so far? And what are your thoughts on putting another podcast together? I asked too many questions there. We haven't done this a while, the two of us.
What for the transition from California to
Florida,
it's changed a lot. The first thing is like location.
Yeah.
In California, the place that we stayed there was very dry and hot, and but here is like a humid and sea, right?
Yeah, totally. So we went from the desert, right? Dry and hot.
Yes.
Heavy desert. But, one thing people often say is that, somehow dry heat is okay. But one of the things I say is if it's 116 degrees every day, which more or less in the summertime it was, that's a little bit much. So I don't mind the humidity. And you're from Thailand, so I know you like the cold because it's good contrast, but it also feels good on your skin though, right? To have a little bit of humidity versus...
Yeah, for me it doesn't here it look like my hometown in Thailand, but in California in Palm Desert, because it was very dry and it's wrecked my skin. I didn't like the weather that much, but I have a lot of friends there.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's the hardest part about the transition, right? Is losing not being in touch with your friends. Not seeing them in person.
Yeah.
Are you staying in touch? I'm a connector type. I do my end. I often say I do my end of staying in touch with anybody that I'm close with. It's a muscle. A lot of people lose that muscle, and some people never develop it in the first place. So are we staying in touch with our friends here on your end of the equation?
Yes, of course.
Okay.
I stay in touch with couple of friends from California that we study English together, and a couple that we still talk or call. Even this morning, my friend Anna, she's German and she called me. But this morning because I did live in Facebook. That's why I feel like not a good time for me to talk with her at that time.
Gotcha. Now, you're also on TikTok. That's not my generation, so to speak. Who knows what I want to be on TikTok at some point. But you did a video the other day, and you said that you had over 1.7 million views on one of your TikTok videos.
Yeah, maybe 1.8 or 9 already.
1.8 or 9 million views. That's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
So that's like I was figuring it out. If there's roughly 70 million Thai people, then there's probably 40 million sort of people between 15 and 50 or something, or 60, whoever does the TikTok. So that means that roughly, 1 in 15 adults in Thailand saw that video of yours. I find that amazing. What did you do? Did you do something? Were you nude or something? What did you do?
No, I didn't know that. I think for me, I feel like maybe because of people might be curious. Why? For that video, I talk about where to touch guy.
Oh, so it was a little bit about sexuality in some way. What do you mean where to touch guy?
But it's not about dirty things.
No, of course not. My wife is super polite. Definitely. No, it's
it's like hair or neck.
Oh, so you mean on a date? Like on a first date? That was a first date video?
No, it's like where to touch guy that let me see. Where to touch guy that he like, something like that.
Pretty much anywhere?
No, in the polite way.
Oh, I see.
Uh-huh.
I see. That's okay.
And
We got it.
I think maybe because the topic that people come to see the video, and because I told them there were 2 video, right? Like eight touch where to touch guys, right? And I think maybe because in Thailand they don't talk about this. That's why.
Got it. Oh, I see
And
why it caught fire, because there aren't that many people coaching people how to date and be like, we call it like a little bit seductive. You know the word
yeah,
seductive?
seductive. I know that.
Ah,
And actually, because okay, we have a dog.
we have a guest with 4 legs
Because
here.
in my video, I have 175,000 subscribers, and I record this video as well.
Mhm.
And this video was the number 1. I mean, the video that have a lot of people come to see. It's been I proved from YouTube already that this video in YouTube people like. That's why I try to record in TikTok for 1 minute.
Oh, got it. So you'd already done it once before.
Yes.
Was it longer in YouTube? I mean, were you touching people in different places? I mean, how's this work?
Yeah, it's like maybe 10 minutes or something. But just for in YouTube, I describe more. I give example more. Yeah. But for TikTok, just like, okay, where to touch the guy, or head if they like, or ears. Some people are sensitive and left or right is not the same, or like in the elbow inside, something like this. Mm-hmm.
I think the guys are the ones that need a little more help than women, right? I mean, in terms of touching, right? Because guys, when they're dating, you have to be careful with women. You have to, if you're going to touch them, you got to do it in really subtle ways. You know the word subtle?
No.
Like really like sort of soft and sensitive, and like not so overt, like in a way that sort of like doesn't make her feel uncomfortable, and yet is potentially a little bit seductive in some way, right? So,
yes,
but guys don't always figure that out well.
But in Thailand, population of women are more.
They're going to watch more videos.
Yes, and I feel like,
yeah.
maybe they watch more.
Got it.
And sometimes like guys might have a chance to see this too.
Gotcha. But it just seems counterintuitive. Do you know the word counterintuitive?
No, what's that?
Like it just doesn't, it defies logic, meaning that like, teaching a woman how to touch a guy, it just seems so simple, like to like, right? Whereas God, because if a woman, touches a guy in any kind of like way, for most males, that's sort of a signal that game is on. You know what I mean by game on?
Yeah.
Whereas like guys have to be a lot more clever about it, right? Because women, are more difficult that way, right? It's just like, I mean, this is what my chung means. Not really, right?
Yeah,
my chung, not
like,
really.
I don't know. Maybe it's come from like guys' perspective or my like.
Yeah, totally. We're doing the perspective here.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of women, they don't know how to flirt, how to date, and
oh, I see.
To
Gotcha.
teach them. Yeah.
Gotcha. Like teaching them how to flirt and who taught you how to flirt and date?
Google.
Oh, you Googled.
Yeah, I need to study.
I mean, it seemed like you did a really good job with me in Thailand. We met, by the way, for those of you guys that don't know, we met on a blind date in Bangkok. And so, like, one of the things that was really fun about that first date, there were many things that were fun. We met at some mall, which for me, I was relatively new in Thailand, and it wasn't that easy for me to get there. I took like the SkyTrain, the BTS, right there, like their transportation, their train system. Like it's like like a subway car, like but on the surface or whatever. And then from there I got out, which I realized a month later I didn't need to do it that way. But then I took a taxi, and then I met her at the wrong part of this giant mall in the middle of Bangkok, Emporium Mall. And then we met at a Starbucks, and then she came down from the other Starbucks, came to get me, And then we were in movement because my wife at that time, it was our first date. She was taking me from location to location. I mean, it was like this sort of funny, like little, like it was hard for you to sit still, right? It was like, it was.
I like to do activity. I don't like
Yeah.
just like to sit and talk, but your style like to sit and talk.
I'm like,
talk.
I can sit and talk anywhere in any coffee shop in the world. It doesn't matter where I am. But then we moved from like a couple places, and I finally was like, can we just chill here for a few minutes? Like, and so she let us chill. And then from there, we actually walked around. We got out of the mall. We went downstairs. And we walked around a little lake, a park. There was a little lake in the middle. And my wife asked me, this question about, it was kind of like a test in a way. She asked me what I thought about astrology and tarot card reading. And I answered truthfully, which was my truth was that, I had spent a year picking one tarot card a day for a year to sort of help me develop and trust my intuition. And so I shared that with her, and it lit her up. And there was no gut line. It wasn't gimmicky. It was just the truth. She got lit up, and she put her arm in my arm, and we walked around this mall together. And then we walked across the street, remember that, into the other mall, like M. Quartier, right? And then we took this elevator up top, right? And then we had Japanese food. Right? And then from there, I walked her to her car, gave her a hug, and then purposely didn't text her, played it cool for like days because she's pretty smart, personable, had a full life going, and I wanted her to feel like, like nice and safe or whatever that is. Like I wasn't gonna come off too strong. And then she sent me a text like 4 days later, aren't you going to ask me out again? And I said, absolutely. And so then she came to where I was staying in Bangkok at this Airbnb it was probably maybe a half. Yeah, Chanakarn, right? Chanakarn. And then our second date was magical. And then here we are like 2.5 years later. So in America, we've lived a lot of places too.
Yes.
Right? Oops. I got a dog here in my lap. You probably can't see it. Our Bertadoodle, but she's like attracted to the high energy of our exchange, so she's not leaving us alone. But it's interesting, right? Like just the way that we did it. I don't remember anything around the touching thing. I don't remember you necessarily touching me. I'm sure I touched you. I have no doubt because I'm a touchy-feely type. I touch friends, like.
No, I feel
right.
Like I just realized the knowledge that I Google is not like come immediately, but like I study and I learn how to act, how to like respond with guys, like
from Google. Oh my gosh!
Like YouTube for the love coach, like for famous love coach, and actually. Like one of my friends who is a Australian Dylan, he taught me as well.
Right.
Yeah, but at that time, I didn't believe him at all, and I proved by myself. And I feel like, maybe for this one,
right.
Like I just feel like a lot of women they don't say what they want, but actually they should. Do you understand me?
Yeah, well, you're saying that a lot of women don't say what they want, but actually they should. What do you mean by that? Because I'm not sure we're clear about that.
Because like women or someone that, I mean, a lot of women try to try to like
spoil,
try to please guys, and I feel like, but as I just read some content and they talk about if you have like your honor yourself, and if you honor yourself, and if you try to like sometimes you deny what guy want. Yeah,
well, you want to allow the guy to come show genuine interest in you,
yes,
right?
But like because a lot, especially Thai women, they try to please guy, but actually if they have their own opinion, if they don't want to like give something, they should say it, and that make guy like women more.
Yeah. So I think I do. I feel like you're trying to say that, like in general, whether it's men or women, but women in particular in Thailand, people should be themselves and be super authentic and not chase anybody, right? There that energy of chasing or being too pleasing.
Yeah, kind
isn't
of chase, but like
right.
like to please, to do everything. And some people, they don't be themselves. They just try to please. Like if I like you and I, no matter you ask anything, I try to please you, and finally you bore of me.
Yeah, so it's just not a good habit, right? To not do. Yeah, but you're strong and independent. I had a very strong and independent mother, so I was always attracted to that in women. Not some guys are, some aren't. There's a whole continuum around that. But I find it very attractive when someone has a strong sense of self and a sense of independence, wants to make, you're always business savvy and business oriented. You want to make your own money. I always find that absolutely amazing, because dependency can be super problematic. I mean, when one person is too dependent on another person, that creates a lot of problems in relationships, right? It can be, it can be hard to manage, right? Some people feel uncomfortable with dependency. Other people take advantage of it, right? Some people get controlling. So I think what you're trying to say is teaching women to sort of make their own lives fun and cool.
Actually, I just read the reason why women that have their own life and they know how to deny guys more.
How to deny guys? That's
Can
funny.
I say this?
Yeah, of course.
More attractive than a woman who please guy. If women who like deny and have their own life, guy will think that this woman have a choice because of they they are brave enough to deny they have their own life, and they might have a choice because they have a lot of confidence, right? And it might be that women have a choice, and when women that have a choice, I mean, not just only you, it might be like I date a lot of guys and I have a choice, I have confidence, and this is more attractive than women which are please guy. And just like anything that you can do, you do, okay, I allow you to do that.
Well, in America, we don't have to worry about all this. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So no, I'm just teasing. But what you're saying is that, like, like when women have their own sense of self, right? They've really developed themselves, and they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. A guy. Then they're going to be more attractive. And I think she's using the word deny, but she doesn't mean like reject, right? You're not talking about rejecting. You're talking about like developing yourself as a person in a way that you're more attractive, right? Because you have a lot of choice.
Yes.
Right? I think that's what you're referring to.
Yes.
Yeah, and that, in a playful way, though, when we decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend, we were in a city like 3 hours south of Bangkok. We had gone away for the weekend, and we decided to erase our dating apps together. And so I made it really playful. We were laying in bed. It was like early morning, right? And I'm like, we're going to count down 3, 2, 1, and hit the delete button. So we did 3, 2, 1, delete. I erased my one app, she erased her one app. Then we did it 2 more times, and I'm out of apps because I was only on 3, and she had another like 20 apps and 100 guys after her. It was like absolutely, I was like sitting there in bed looking at all her dating apps, and I didn't even know, I had no clue that she was on that many apps until we decided to be, thank God we decided to be boyfriend and girlfriend, right?
Of course, we should not put the egg on the basket.
Yeah, we're not doing eggs. No, she's actually living that principle, right?
We have a choice in our life, right?
Right, I like it. So 3, 2, 1, delete. I'm like, I'm out. Like, and she's like, and then I'm like, I'm looking because on each app it shows like all the different texts that are that she didn't answer, and there were like dozens and dozens of them. I had like nothing on mine. Like, what's the crazy.
Folder of app.
Here's the other thing about, the magic of like, when you're ready for a partner in this lifetime or ready for a soulmate. One of the things that was absolutely magical is that our age difference is like 19 and a half years, and her dating range was 31 to 47 on all these different dating sites. And at the time I was 51. And so like literally a friend of hers convinced her to put the age range to 51 and be more open-minded. And me and one other person come through, and then she panics because the other guy wasn't attractive and puts it back to 47. And this was just for 24 hours, and I was already through. So like, this is clearly when things are meant to be, right? There is magic in this thing we call life, but I think you have to get yourself into the right frame of mind and in the right place. I was like in a really good place in my life where I was just in the present moment, living pretty fully, running a full business from Thailand, but being in a place where I really wasn't needing a partner, I was desiring it. The need part of my life was largely gone, and it's just an amazing place to attract from. And I think you're also sort of implying that when you're teaching these Thai women to be less needy, right?
Yeah, I just teach Thai women to date, just like go out, hang out and talk, not just like expect to find the right partner immediately, because like after one date of like some women, they always ask me, because I did pick a card for like a kind of fortune teller too, right? And they always ask me, what did the guy want? What did the guy think about her? And I feel like you should ask yourself, what do you think about that guy? You will choose them or not? Not they think about you. You understand?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's really good advice. It's like not worried so much about what he's thinking of you, but also being really aware of what it is you actually want.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Dr. Brettisms from the past is not to turn a date into a soulmate, right? And that the metaphor of that is that, you do a first date or a second date or whatever it is, and people get into this fantasy world where they start to project that someone is their perfect partner after 1 or 2 dates or 3 dates. And a lot of times it's really just a projection. It's a fantasy. And that's you experience that a lot when you're coaching these Thai women.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they're doing this fantasy.
Yes.
Turning someone into a soulmate when it's just a date.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. A lot of, I think, actually not just only women, guys as well, but maybe because the brain of women, they think about that. And I feel like they should just like take time, and not expect since the first day. They should like learn and just like for fun, to hang out and talk, not just like, okay, rush to have boyfriend since the first day.
Yeah, and that's something we talk a lot about, because you hear me talk about present moment time. I work with a lot of athletes. I work with a lot of business people, right? And I do a lot of work on relationships and communication issues. And, whether it's an athlete or a business person or whomever it is, we talk a lot about staying present and not projecting, not turning a date into a soulmate, not turning one golf round into something that it's not, right? Because, I work with a lot of athletes, and they have to stay present day in, day out in order to really grow their skill sets. It's not something it's a journey. This whole thing, this cliche that life is a journey, it's really true. The older you get, the more you realize what a journey it is, like how challenging it is, how many ups and downs there are, and how important it is to stay present as much as possible on that journey, because otherwise you're going to get in trouble with all these projections, right? Turning the date into a soulmate, or believing that you're going to make, the golf tour because you had one amazing round. Anyway, really fun.
Thank you.
Super fun being back with you. Hey, I'm Dr. Brett.
Hey, I'm Chanakarn.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.